Hi everybody, this is Katie and this is my update. So the purpose for my project was basically to develop a professional development tab on my website to have teachers be able to download lesson plans where they're using 21st century tools. So this is my website, you can see it right up here. And the title for my website is Resources for Biology Teachers because I originally developed this so that teachers can use lesson plans for their own classroom. And then from there, I basically decided to have a professional development tab where teachers can come and actually get credit for doing the work. So let me walk you through my website. So basically we have the title page. I have a page where I have my bio. I am in the science program, so my goal is to teach science and my goal is to develop lesson plans for science lessons, especially biology. I have a tab for lesson plans. Here I have another tab, an under tab that goes to the syllabus, and then from there you can jump back to lesson plans. So I try to make the website as easy as possible. I read that in our White Spaces Natural Enemy book. I have Biology Web 2.0 tools where I plan to upload lesson plans in the future. And then I have a couple of other tabs where you have AP biology lessons, and I can also ask someone to help me develop special education biology lessons. I also have another tab for webinars. This is where I plan to post different videos or different sources where people can get ideas about what type of tools they can use in their classroom. I of course have a tab for feedback because I always want to hear what I can do better, if the lesson plans are working, if they're not, or if the teachers or professors modify the lesson plans in some way and would like to send them back to me with the updates. I also have another tab for useful links. This is where you have the curriculum standards. I also plan to update this to include next generation science standards once they're adapted. And then I also have a contact me page. So of course this will have to be edited because this is a little bit too busy. In retrospect, I should have made this a little less busy. So that's my plan. So the goal for my website, like I mentioned, is to have a whole bunch of different lesson plans that include 21st century tools. So in order to find out what teachers actually want, I went on LinkedIn and I also went on Thinkfinity. And my goal was to ask the people on there what type of tools they would want to have. So unfortunately, Thinkfinity, there are not a lot of people who are chatting about this. On LinkedIn, it's a little bit better. The problem is most people who go to these chat rooms for post-developmental stuff or professional development, they just want content. They're not really big on incorporating technology because for most of them, technology is showing a video in class. And for me, it's more of showing a video in class that goes along with your lesson and then analyzing the video or something like that. So along those lines, I'm going to show you a sample lesson plan that I have developed. This can be used for biology, and the way that this works is there is a YouTube video that you show to the students, and it's on central dogma. So what happens first is you basically give your students the vocabulary that they will need. You can do this through lecture, or you can do this through simply giving them vocabulary. Rutgers normally gives them a lecture, and then what we would do is we would show them a video, have them go through the whole video. I'll show you a small part. So this is the central dogma video.
Demonstrates how the digital information encoded within DNA is used to direct protein synthesis. This is a DNA double helix containing the digital code which directs the cell in all aspects of operation. And here we see a protein complex called an RNA polymerase traveling down the DNA strand. As it moves down the strand, it carefully unwinds the DNA, preparing it for transcription. Inside the polymerase, we see a single-stranded copy of the original instructions being assembled as individual bases are positioned and added to the growing strand. A stop code marks the end of the protein specification.
So basically this is about a 2-minute video. The way that this lesson would be ran is you would basically show this entire video, have the students look through it, and then divide it up into 3 different segments, which is what you will see on this Excel sheet. So for the first segment, you will have students work with this vocabulary. You would have them draw out the process. You would want to have them label the process where this is going on the cell or anything else, and then you would have them look at what's missing from the video based on what they learned in class. So the best part about this is from what we learned from White Space is Not Your Enemy, and also from one of the articles, I believe it was the Morena 1998 article, the best way to learn is when you have videos or if you have pictures. And you also have auditory stimulus rather than having a picture and words. So this video is perfect because it basically gives the students a visual, something that they can't picture without, because most of us don't know what DNA or RNA or proteins look like unless we work in the sciences. And it also stimulates them through hearing because it actually tells them what is going on. So the goal for this activity is basically have the students break up this video into 3 parts. They'll go through the transcription, they go through the translation, they go through protein folding, and then there are a couple of wrap-up questions that can connect this chapter to a different chapter. So most of the activities that I'm developing, most of the lesson plans will be very similar to this. I plan to use screencasts and a couple of other things. A lot of the lesson plans will ask the students to create their own stuff, but basically, obviously, the whole goal is to have multimedia input to help the students with this. In terms of the progress on my project, like I mentioned before for my website, the biggest challenge that I'm having right now is finding the time to actually complete the physical website. The lesson plans are really easy. I have time to do that. So in terms of the goals that I listed, I have completed the lesson plans. I have compiled a list of the multimedia resources that I want my teachers to be aware of. I'm still working on tutorials for having them use things like Screencast and iMovie and discussion forums, but I'm about halfway there. So the biggest thing, like I said, is for me to work on this professional development website and have all the parts for it that I want. So in terms of connecting what I've learned from the readings to this website, a lot of it is pretty simple. The biggest thing that I learned is having this tab all the way at the top is a great idea because every single page you go to, the tab is still located at the top, and the person visiting my website does not have to look around and figure out how to get back to the home screen. The home screen is always there. In terms of the sub-tabs, if you go to lesson plans, you have the lesson plans. You also have easy to identify buttons because this red circle basically circles it. So no matter where I click, I can scroll down to the bottom and click lesson plans. The website itself is pretty compact. I don't have to have the visitors scroll up and down too much to figure out what they're looking for. And everything is pretty much the same font. Everything is pretty much 1 or 2 colors. There's nothing really that jumps out, and at least in my opinion, you'll have to let me know if that's true. Everything seems to be flowing pretty well, so no one is really too shocked about what they see on the site. So I guess the brightest thing I have is the science slogan, but everything else I think is going well. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your feedback.